Hello, and welcome to the show. Let's start by telling you a story. Recently I started running, and I have noticed two main things. One, the shoes I bought don't fit me. They're my normal size, but my feet slide to the front of them and get squashed, and when I'm running and my feet get wet, the toes start to bleed. It's disgusting. Also painful and embarrassing, since I can't return the shoes anymore. Secondly, there is a lot of graffiti. Once you start to notice it, you realize it is everywhere. Do I like it? I don't know. I don't understand why it's there most of the time. Is writing your name on a bin really that exciting to young Finns? Is it art? Is it vandalism? Is it a string of secret gangland signifiers? I don't know, but I do know there's a lot of it, and it must mean something. Was it Freddie Nietzsche or Justin Bieber who said, "All truly great thoughts are conceived by walking"? I guess we'll never know, but bearing that in mind, let's take a walk and see what we think about the local graffiti. Here's a special report by my good friend, the Google Translate robot.
Graffiti, group noun, graffito, singular. Like stock equivalent is everywhere, and we all know it when we see it, but what is the meaning of all this? In the Italian city of Pompeii, scribblings and scratchings preserved by volcanic ash from the year 79 of the Common Era are still visible on the facades of excavated buildings and communicate everything from the pleasures of food to the pleasures of commercial love. In fact, the most common themes were love and sexual conquest.
Gaius Valerius Venustus, soldier of the first Praetorian cohort in the century of Rufus, screwer of women. Augur loves Alatinus.
Plato argued that written communication is primarily an imitative response. Imitations of speech, objects like cave paintings of buffalo, or imitations of acts, like loving
Alatinus.
Thanks a ton, robot guy. Some strong opinions there. To conclude, to sum up, I wish I had an affirmative message to leave you with. Would you take 2 negative messages instead? When I was at school, I was told never to write on the desks, and if I did, a wooden blackboard duster was thrown at me. Also at home, I was told not to pee on the floor or the walls, and only into the toilet. Do these 2 memories color my opinion about the local graffiti I am subjected to? Or do I somehow link the graffiti with painful bleeding feet and exhaustion when I'm out running? Is graffiti art? The thing with art is that you are only one letter away from fart, and like a fart, sometimes art is only appreciated by the person who did it. So in that sense, graffiti could be art. The main problem from literature seems to be that graffiti provokes and upsets the normal balance of claimants of the public arena. The people usually in charge, advertising people, and city planners, at best have the role of social janitor when it comes to graffiti. So it can be argued that graffiti in fact empowers the disenfranchised, and gives them a voice. This could certainly apply to political or radical graffiti. But what are the taggers trying to communicate? That they exist? That they are holding a spray can? Is this enough? In that case, I can appreciate the theory more than the practice of graffiti. Also, the broken windows theory must be mentioned. Does graffiti merely express, and is it an example of antisocial behavior that could foster the development of other more serious antisocial crimes? I don't think so. My main problem with the graffiti I have seen is that it is bad. I feel like these people are just not trying for the most part. Easy to say when I'm not the one taking any risks, but still. So, the common argument that graffiti is vandalism isn't really about art, but more about who has done the graffiti. While most graffiti, in my opinion, is ugly and ambitionless and boring, most advertising is visual pollution, and so-called public art, sanctioned and paid for, public art, is also ambitionless, boring and ugly. Why graffiti is vandalism is that it is displayed without permission on a substrate not owned by the grapher. Consider the public art or advertisements. Who gave permission for them? Not me, not you, probably not anyone you know. Most of it is so second-rate or offensive or extolling gender roles from a mindset stuck in the 1950s that I would not have permitted it had I been asked. So they are, to me, just as much vandalism as the work of a tagger, in fact worse, since they are usually bigger and there are even more of them. If public spaces are truly public, then they are ours to use as we please, to paint and write on, or they are no one's.